This is section 4.2. These are the examples to going along with graphing quadratic functions in standard form. Okay, so here we're looking at our first example. What's the graph of y equals x squared plus 2x plus 3? Now, one suggestion that I usually make is to identify what are your A, B, and C, because it's going to help you in determining some other things down the road. Now, A is the number in front of x squared. There's no number there, so we make that a 1. B is the number in front of x, which is 2. And C is the guy that stands by itself. Okay, so always identify what your A, B, and C are first. That's going to help you in terms of finding the vertex. So again, we find the vertex. The x value of the vertex is the opposite of b over 2a. So the opposite of b is negative 2 over 2 times a is 1, which in this case, this is negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. So the x value of the vertex is negative 1. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in that x value to find y. So I'm going to plug in the negative 1 in for x. Negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 and plus 3. Negative 1 squared is 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 3. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. And negative 1 plus 3 is going to be 2. So my ordered pair for the vertex is 1, 2. Okay, so now I'm going to take this ordered pair and plot that vertex. I'm going to go left 1, and I'm going to go up 2 and put a dot. Okay, left 1, up 2, put a dot. Now, the second point that we're going to look at here is for your y-intercept. Now remember, your y-intercept is the ordered pairs 0 and c. Now again, the reason I have you identify a, b, and c is so it's just easy to look at your list and figure this out. So the y-intercept is the ordered pairs 0 and 3. Okay. Now the axis of symmetry, remember, is the line x equals negative 1. Okay, so if I were to draw an axis of symmetry, I'll put this axis of symmetry in here, and it's x equals negative 1, so we're going to draw it right down here. That's the blue line. That's the axis of symmetry. Put my dot there again. Okay. My ordered pair for my y-intercept is the ordered pairs 0 and 3. So I start at 0, 0, and I go up 3, put a dot. And now I'm going to reflect that across that blue line. And when I reflect it across that blue line, it's 1 away, so I'm going to the left 1 here. And now I have my parabola. And you're finished. Okay. Now again, I personally think these are a little bit easier to graph than in vertex form. Okay, where they get challenging is where you start having fractions and decimals, which you are going to see. Okay, all right, let's go to example number 2 now. Okay, so example number 2, again, first thing we want to look at here is we got to identify A, B, and C. In this case, A is negative 2, B is 2, C is negative 5. Okay, so to find the x value of the vertex, I'm going to take the opposite of b, which is negative 2, over 2 times a, which is negative 2. Okay, so now negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, so negative 2 over negative 4. And that's going to end up being 1/2 once I reduced it. Now, some of you are probably going to ask the question, can I make that a decimal? If you feel more comfortable using decimals, that's more than likely yes, you sure can. There's nothing wrong with decimals. So the x value of my vertex is 0.5 or 1/2. Now I've got to put that value in. So negative 2 y equals negative 2 times 0.5 squared plus 2 times 0.5 minus 5. Okay. 0.5 squared is 0.25, so negative 2 times 0.25 plus half of 2 is 1. 0.25 times negative 2 is negative 1/2, so negative 0.5 plus 1 minus 5. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative half plus 1 is half. And half minus 5 is negative 4.5. So my vertex is 5, negative 4.5. Okay? So now as I look at this graph here, okay, as I look at this graph, you'll notice the blue line that's already up there. I'm going to plot my vertex. Right 1/2, down 4.5, which happens to be right in here. Okay, that's my vertex. You'll notice the blue line that shows my axis of symmetry. Okay, now again, the axis of symmetry, as we look at this guy, the axis of symmetry is going to be the line x equals negative 0.5 or negative 1/2. Or sorry, positive 1/2, not negative, excuse me. A mistake there is positive 1/2. So it's going to be 0.5 or 1/2. That's the blue line. Next thing I need to figure out is the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is going to be the ordered pairs 0 and c. And in this case, c is negative 5. I'm going to plot that point next. So 0, negative 5, so I'm going to go down 5, put a dot right there. And again, I'm going to reflect it across the axis of symmetry. And now I'm going to draw my parabola. Okay, so in conclusion here of this graphing, you got to find the x value of the vertex, which is the opposite of b over 2a. Plug that into the equation. That gives you the y value of the vertex. Then you're going to plot the vertex. Then you find the y-intercept, which is always 0 and c. You plot that, reflect it, and then you can draw your parabola. Okay? So, this concludes section 4.2, part 2, which is the graphing of quadratics in standard form.